All right, everyone, we're going to get started. Thank you all for joining tonight, and we'll be talking about the USNCO, which is the U.S. National Chemistry Olympiad competition. We're honored to have Professor Jumping with us today. We'll introduce him a little bit. In the meantime, if you haven't answered the poll, please feel free to do so. We'd love to know who's joining us tonight. But also, let's get started. All right. So just some light housekeeping. So if you guys have any comments, feel free to use the chat box. We would like to read your responses and engage with you all. And unfortunately, we won't be able to see any raised hands in this webinar, so please don't use the feature. And if you have any questions, feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A section. You can find that on the bar towards the bottom of the Zoom window. We'll be able to get through the questions at the end of the webinar. And if you like, if you have the latest version of Zoom, feel free to turn on the closed captions feature. That's up to you. And if you can't attend this meeting or if you're missing some part of it, don't worry, we have a recording sent out for this webinar. All right, that said, let's jump into some quick introduction about Ingenious Prep, and we'll also talk about our speakers today. So first out, let's introduce our speaker. That would be Professor Jumping. Hi, Professor Jumping.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. This is the Jianping. I'm
Yeah.
a chemistry professor.
Yeah.
I have been teaching chemistry for over 30 years. So mostly from back to China for the graduate students and undergraduate students. I came to US. I attended the Vanderbilt University chemistry department. And I had over 23 years research at Eli Lilly. Now I'm a retired scientist, focus my full time to working with the youngest generation because I personally strongly believe, based on my experience, the future is belong to you. Very nice to see you. Very nice, this evening, Jimin with we have this presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Jianping. And I myself am Jamie. I'm happy to join the webinar as your co-host. And I'm also currently the Strategic Partnership Manager at Ingenious Prep. So again, welcome everyone. So that said, I would also like to have you become familiar with a few other folks as well. So at Ingenious Prep, we have a team of over 150 former admissions officers from top universities. And that includes counselors who have worked at schools like Yale, Johns Hopkins, and MIT, to name a few. And we also work with we also work with some graduate coaches who work closely with our FAO, which are the former admissions officers. They also help out with developing personalized college admission strategies for students. And these are folks who have gone through, the very intense and competitive college admissions processes themselves, and they'll be able to use their knowledge to mentor the students. On top of that, we also have over 200 academic mentors that includes some scholars, professors, and researchers who can mentor students in various individualized research projects on various topics. And just really quickly, in terms of our curriculum, we built that by using insights from our former admissions officers. And these are school-specific insights from the top 30 universities. And here are just some results to show you why our curriculum work and why we do have an awesome and expert admissions team that can actually counsel our students. All right, and I know we're here to talk about the USNCO. So why don't I pass the presentation now to Professor Jamping to talk about the competition, what it includes, and some preparation tips.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Now, before I get started, I wanted to introduce our program. Our program is designed to inspire students the passion on the chemistry. Not only the chemistry, it's the science. So in this program, through engaging lessons, hands-on experiments, and problem-solving skill exercise, and it's a purpose to develop the skills, essential skills for students' future academic success. So before I get started, I wanted to emphasize that's our program. Now, in terms of US NCL computation, so it's the best time. So US NCL computation is based on high school kids. Some local section can also allow the middle school students to compete. And the level is a college level. They call it high school chemistry Olympiad. But actually, the requirement is the college level chemistry. Okay, so in this case, and it's the best time to start the class is the 9th grade to 12th grade for the advanced class. Now, the requirement for students in order to benefit the most from this class or to be successful in the computation, and probably students needed to finish the AP chemistry, or we do have the evaluation exam. If we pass the exam, students can take advanced chemistry Olympiad class. Now, in terms that chemistry Olympiad, US NCL is the most prestigious competition. It is a multi-tier competition. Beginning the tier 1 is called the local section exam. Normally happen in the month of the March each year. And the purpose for this tier is that to select the top 2 students from each school, and they call it semi-finalist from each school. Originally, each year average about 2,000 students to take exam, and just select 2,000 students through the local section exam. That's the first stage. In the local section exam, have 60 questions. It's a multiple choice, 110 minutes. That's the first stage. The second stage in the National Chemistry Olympiad exam. Now, from 20,000 to 1,000, in this 2,000 students going to take the part 1, part 2, and the part 3. It's a whole day exam. It's about 6 hours. Now, in the part 1, it's 60 multiple choices. And from this, the grade by Scantron, by machine, and select the top 150. That's what we call the top 150 or honor. Now, from this 150 students, they're going to look at the part 2. Part 2 has 8 open questions. From this part 1 and the part 2, select the top 50. That we call the high honor. Now, students also will take a part 3. From top 50 students, just look at the part 3. Part 3 is a lab practice. And combine part 1, part 2, part 3, they're going to select top 20. So which those 20 students will be invited to the study camp for 2 weeks. Now, that's the tier 3. The 20 students selected from national exam. So we have a 2 weeks study camp right now in Washington, D.C., in the Maryland University. They have a 2 weeks camp, very intense. They have a lecture, they have an exam. They have a lab training, lab practice, the lab exam. They select the top 6. That's called a national team. And since each country can only send 4 students for the international, we call it ICHO, International Chemistry Olympiad. So 4 students were selected from 6. That's called national USA ICHO national team. Now, the last one is the International Chemistry Olympiad. This is the highest competition for high school students. Students 4 from each country meet in the host country. This year, I think it's UAE, right? UAE. For 2 weeks competition. There were 2 parts: the theory, the written exam, and lab practice. Written exam is 60%. Lab is 40%. They're going to award gold medal, silver medal, and the bronze. That's the USNCL. That's the stage. The stages. Now, in terms of timeline, so 2025, we haven't finished. Now, by June 9, then this cycle will be done. Right now, we just finished national exam. They announced top 20 on April 28th, just Monday. So I have more to say in the following slides. Now, the students will go to the study camp in June, first 2 weeks in Maryland. Now they're going to select the national team, go to the international. But normally the registration open in the December. So 2026 will be December 2025. Right, that will the registration. Now, very easy to register. Go to the ACS website. And if you are in our program, so we will send you the reminder. It is the time to register. You go to the website. You're going to put your name, phone number, email. That's it. Then the key is to prepare for the exam. So USNCL Chemistry Olympiad, of course, it is the prestige competition, but chemistry is much beyond. The opportunity is much beyond USNCL, such as the National Science Board. As you know that some of you, some parents, some students, you know that they just finished yesterday. It's not yesterday. It's April 28th. Just finished in Washington, D.C. Okay, so you can also do Science Olympiad. You can do WCT, the Washington University Chemistry Tournament in St. Louis. So this year it is April 5th. So it's much beyond the Chemistry Olympiad. Besides this, and it's lots of research competition related to chemistry. JHSH, very powerful, very popular competition for the high school kids, sponsored by U.S. Army, Air Force, and the Navy. Science fair, the ISERV, STS, and RSI. So that's more than chemistry, much beyond. So how are we going to prepare the Chemistry Olympiad? How are we going to prepare it? Okay. The first one, you need to choose the right class. Depends your chemistry level. If you finish the AP chemistry at the school, or you just learning AP chemistry right now, and the next week you are going to take an exam, I will suggest you are going to take advanced chemistry Olympiad class. Now, if you haven't taken a chemistry, but you have a strongly desire to learn, and you are very passionate about the chemistry, and you self-studied some chemistry, now we will give you the evaluation exam. And based the exam results, we will give you the direction, what types of class you are going to take, what's next step we're going to do. So that's the one. And you may have lots of questions, but just wait. So we are going to answer your question. Okay. Now you will ask, what's this class mission about? And let me go to the first one. How to prepare for this one? So the first I want to look at the class design. And our classes are skilled to fit USNCL Olympiad exam and started the camp. And the class are covered wide branch of chemistry subject, including inorganic, analytical, physical, and organic chemistry. And all this is a college level chemistry. Focus, all these classes focus on number one, chemistry. So we are going to here to teach you chemistry, only chemistry. In the many years, the parents send us email, ask a question. So are you going to use a set of exam to discuss in the class? Yes, we will, absolutely. However, no. Now, here we are going to teach you chemistry. And as you know that, as long as you understand the chemistry, you should do well. That's the first one. The second one, if your chemistry skill in this lab, and your solve problem ability, maybe in this level, see, we are going to build a bridge. So connect your knowledge level, your knowledge skill with your solve problem ability. So the class design two parts. What's the one? Fundamentally is the chemistry. The second one, to train your ability, solve the challenge problem, so that when you to take an exam, you will do well. Okay. Now, the class are designed, very well designed for the Chemistry Olympiad exam. But beyond that, we do offer lots of extensive and intensive training. But remember, this is training only for our students. Right? So we have a decoding class, which is bi-weekly from August to April, because the national exam in April. Right? We have advanced organic chemistry, that's a monthly class. We have a question of the week. So each week we will publish the question to the website. Now you're going to practice. We have a lab design, because chemistry in the empirical science, you have a lab, right? You have to do the lab. So we have a lab design with a month. We mentioned the WCT chemistry tournament. Yes, we will have the training in March, because the exam in the April first week. Oh, we have a spring lab camp. That's in-person week in here. I'm in Indianapolis. You will come here, okay? And most important is that we personalize working with each of you, because that's the education, right? And all this service is to help you go to next level, right? To go to the next level, but all is free. All is free. Now, some results to share with the students, with the parents. In the last many years, we are so blessed to have a chance work with grade A students, not only in the US, but also in the world. So you look at, such as 2024, last year, each country can send 4 students to the international. 2024 is from our program. 2023, 4 students from here. And they see the middle is an award that's made by one of my students. Right? And to show those students went to the international, get a gold medal. The point I wanted to make here is that those kids can reach that level. You can do the same, even better. So that's the point I want to make. Of course, I'm very glad, extremely happy for our students, for our families. Very happy for them. Okay, so that's for the international level. Now look at the national level. In the national level, so we said top 50, top 150, top 50, 20, top 624. And our students almost took majority the position. 2025, this year, they announced April 28th. The top 20 in the US, 16 from our class, from our program. That's the US. So top 150, top 50 probably in a few weeks, they were published in the website. Last year, top 50, we have 33. Top 150, we have 65. So we are so excited for this year and beyond. Now look at Canada and the UK. Canada, UK announced last evening. It's just good for today's presentation. So we only have Canada. We only have one as 4 students. 3 make it to the camp. UK, we only have 1 student. Michelle, he make it to the camp. So this one, 2025, we have 4. Very happy for our students and their family. Now, as you know that, the students pursue chemistry. They love chemistry. But also I understand they want to go to good school. They want to go to school. So one thing I can tell you, and the students through rigorous the science competition and the Chemistry Olympiad competition, and will tremendous benefit your college application. You are, Jimmy is expert in this area, I know, right? So you keep your good GPA, you get a national award, you are done. You are done. Look at in the last 4 years, we had 47 accepted to Harvard. You divide 4, average over 10. MIT, all this one. This is not a complete list. Why? Because some kids share their results, some did not. But regardless, you participate rigorous science and the Chemistry Olympiad competition will dramatically improve your college application. That's my experience. I think that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you, Jianping. I really appreciate it. And now I'll take over to talk about the programs that we have, specifically the ones around chemistry. Let me move here. Yeah, so as we learn a lot about the chemistry, the competition and how to prepare for it, including some tips and some results and why it's important, and we covered the importance in terms of college admissions. But also, it's also about your passion for chemistry, right? Like Professor Jianping said, it's not just about your, getting into great colleges. It's not about your passion for chemistry or science. But if you're looking for resources around like, okay, now I understand, I have knowledge about what the competition is, what it entails, what the structures and timeline, but how can I get started? So we at Ingenious Prep, we offer some programs that can exactly help you to do that. And these are classes taught personally by Professor Jianping. So he'll be your instructor if you sign up for the class. So as Professor Jianping mentioned, if you have never taken if you haven't taken a lot of chemistry classes in high school, or you haven't even taken AP chemistry, we have an AP chemistry class that might be a good way to get you started. And that would be weekly classes until the AP exam date. Just a note on the enrollment deadline. The enrollment deadline is at the end of this month, so May 31st, with the program starting on June 8th. And again, for those who maybe have some background in chemistry already, maybe you have even taken the AP chemistry before, maybe you will be a right fit for you to jump into our Advanced Chemistry Olympiad program. And that will be a 2.5-hour classes for 10 months. And I think we saw the timeline about the competition earlier. So you'll be, Professor Jianping will be helping you along the way. And for that program, the deadline is, the sign-up deadline would be June 2nd. So that would be about a month, exactly a month from now. And how do you sign up? I think that's a question a lot of our parents would have. So if you are a current Engineers Prep student, we would encourage you to reach out to your progress manager or your enrollment counselors. If you are new to Engineers Prep, if you have never signed up for any of our programs, you can simply reach out to the email. It's really easy to memorize. It's competitionprep@engineersprep.com. And you can also feel free to schedule a free consultation using the QR code I'm going to show at the last page. So that way you can directly chat with one of our members to understand more about, how the competition will help you in terms of your passion, pursuing your passion, or, even as a advantage for college admissions. But you can also bring your questions, get some initial advice, etc. And here are some other programs that we have at Engineers Prep, such as the one listed here. I'm not going to go through each of them, but I do want to highlight one of the programs here, which is the first one. That would be the candidacy building. So in this program, it will give you an advantage to work with our former admissions officers and graduate coaches as early as 7th grade. They will be able to help you craft a personalized college admission strategies, and they will also, guide you step by step from exploring your academic interest to choosing the right kind of activities, such as USNCO. And you'll be able to get help along the way to really build a truly competitive admissions profile. So with that, we're gonna jump into our Q&A session. And again, here's the QR code to a free consultation. I'm also going to send a poll right now for those who are interested in a consultation. Feel free to just let me launch it right now. So if you're interested, feel free just to hit yes for the poll, and we'll have someone reach out to you. But yeah, if you sign off by May 5th, which is in 3 days, you also get a $200 discount off the competition prep program. But yeah, so let's see if we have any questions for what we covered today, whether that's the chemistry exam or just anything about the preparation. Let me see. Seems like so far we haven't got any questions, but Professor Jumping actually have a question for you. So let me ask a question in case we have some shy audience here. So yeah, let's say if I'm a high schooler, Professor Jumping, I'm a high schooler who is interested in chemistry, but I don't know if I should invest my energy and time in the USNCO. What would you advise? I might have taken some classes in chemistry already, but I'm just not sure if it's worth taking that step further to pursue and to participate in a competition like the Olympiad. What would you say and what would you advise?
Thank you, Jimmy. This is a great question. Your question, the question you asked, just like when I was young.
Yeah.
Just like many years ago. And you know what? The two part, I will say, chemistry is fundamental science.
Mhm.
Regardless what you're going to do, if you know chemistry, you will reach your life. That will reach your life.
Mhm.
I always talk to my wife. She is accountant.
Mhm.
Right? No, I said, everything we are doing at home, everything is related to chemistry. So that's all. Right? That's the one. Second one, in the high school, it's a requirement take a chemistry class. That's the requirement of one of the science. Second one. The third one, you go to college, regardless which type of college, you have to take a chemistry to graduate. So you do not want to wait to the last minute, going to finish your requirement. Okay, that's a side story. Now, in terms of Chemistry Olympiad, number one, the computation may not significant in my opinion. However, the journey from the beginning to your finish, that is significant. It's more important than computation. Let me give you an example. Every year, when our students come back, I'm in Carmel, Indiana. So I always invited them for sometimes dinner if I'm free. Most of the time it's a lunch. And during the lunch time, I always ask students, number one, what I can do better for future students. They will give me lots of input. But the most important, what do you benefit from my class? And these students said, not everyone, oh, I learned lots of chemistry. Because most of the kids already forgot the class we did. And what they said, the journey, the way you teach us, you coach us, that's the benefit. Make us outstanding in the college. So that's why. That's the feedback from all my former students. But still, no, because they're in the college, we have become friends. We keep contact. I hope, the answer too long. I hope I answer your question.
No, it does. Thank you for sharing. I think eventually it just all goes back to the learning process, right? And at the same time, you're achieving something. As you mentioned, that 20 out of the selected, 16 out of the 20 students who were selected to participate in that study camp actually came from your students. So it's amazing that they're enjoying the journey along the ride, but also they're achieving something that's meaningful and they'll for sure remember for the rest of our life. So thank you so much for answering that question. I want to give anyone else in our webinar today, whether you're a parent or a student, any last minute questions before we end the webinar. Again, if you have any questions later on, you can reach out to us at the competition prep at engineers prep email. You can also, if you have more questions that are personalized or very specific to your student's specific condition or situation, you can always schedule a free consultation to speak with a counselor at our team. So they'll be able to offer some initial advice, take a look at your students, even the transcript, give some helps in terms of how do you think about competition as it relates to college admissions, etc. So you can also reach out to us if you want to get more personalized advice, and that will be the QR code right there, or the email address you can reach out to. All right, I'm seeing so yes, there will be a recording sent to everyone after the session. So just watch out for your email. It should arrive in 3 business days. So most likely on Monday because we get the weekend solved. So thank you for asking that question. All right, we actually have a question, Professor Jamping. I'll read it to you if that works better. So we have a student asking about, I think it's a 9th grade student who's currently taking chemistry honors and plan to take AP chemistry next year. They're asking if they will be able to join, do the competition in 10th grade, or is 11th grade better after they complete AP exam?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think it's both way. The Olympiad exam is for the high school kids. So starting 9th grade, you can always take exam. That's fine. I think I encourage you are going to do that. The reason you get experience. In terms to have meaningful results, such as you got honor or I honor to the top 20. So I will suggest plan yourself, keep your good GPA, and spend as much time as you can. And I will say, now in your case, that's generally in your case, you are 9th grade, you are taking honors chemistry. I will say you are taking honors chemistry now. In a couple months, you are done. I will say you can try to take advanced class in June, but will be a little bit of challenge. However, I will give you individual help. I want you during the summer, you are going to spend some time. I will give you the material. You are going to read it. You are going to practice. And I think so you can take an exam next year. That's a 10th grade. And hopefully you will do well. If not, then you have one more year to take another exam in the 11th grade. That's for the college application purpose. Right? And you do have a passion, you find, wow, this is amazing. It's a beautiful subject. You're high in the senior year, which most is over 60% the students is senior year still doing that. Yeah, I think yes, you should do that. You will do well.
Thank you for that encouragement. And I think, as mentioned in the previous slide, Professor Jamping does have a lot of resources that are available to his current students. So hopefully those will be a help for you if you think you need a little bit of catching up. So we also have another question just submitted. So we have a student asking about, so they have done Science Olympiad before. How good of a preparation do you think this is for Chemistry Olympiad, Professor Jempe?
Science Olympiad is a great program. It's not only for the chemistry, the maths, physics, chemistry, biology, earth science. Chemistry is one of the subjects in the Science Olympiad. In terms of level, and that level is not very challenging. It's not very challenging compared to the Chemistry Olympiad. I will suggest in this case, probably take AP Chemistry. It's a better choice.
Awesome. Thank you, Professor Jamping. You definitely know that question. I would not be able to answer that. So thank you for the help. Any other questions before we end the webinar? Again, feel free to schedule a free consultation for more in-depth discussion, or just reach out to us at the email address on the slide. Gonna wait a little bit and we'll send out a recording. So don't worry if you joined halfway through, we'll be able to send out a recording soon. Alrighty. If not, well, let's thank our guest speaker, Professor Jumping, for the presentation today. And thank you all for joining us today. And hopefully we hear from you, and we'd love to help, and we'd love to give you more advice along the way. We really hope to be helpful. So thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend ahead. Thank you, Professor Jumping.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.